Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live, and especially this morning because we're doing our question and answer Friday. So I'll wait for a few folks. Here we go. We got people coming on. Fran, good morning. Say hello to a few folks this morning, as usual. Our roll call, Kevin from Oshawa. Rosa, good morning. And Reba, how are you? Francis Marie, good morning. John from Elgin, Illinois. Rita. And Nick from our staff, good morning. Nativity, how are you? Wendy, Markham. And Jenny, how are you, Jenny? And Jerry from Hatley, Quebec. Etta, good morning. And Debbie, how are you? We appreciate you guys coming on. Mary and Danny. Kathy, good morning. Leela, thanks for coming on. Crystal, good morning to you. Bethel from Brantford. Betty Lynn. Okay, so it's Betty Lynn. I call her Bettel. Mary Ann Chantal from Ottawa. Donna from Park Hill. Good morning, Pam from Sudbury. Diane. Betty Lynn. Sorry about that. Fran, Orangeville. And good morning. Moncton, New Brunswick. Yolande. Bonjour. Rosemary. And Anna from Hamner. All around my area. Helena. And Maria. And Georgie, Halifax. Beautiful day in Halifax, apparently. Dave, Muskoka, Rose, Peterborough, Colette, good morning. Lillian, on the beautiful St. Lawrence River at Brockville, good morning. Crystal, and Denise, Millika, Stouffville, Joanne, Timmins, Marcia, good morning. Brahim, I've been waiting for you there, bro, from Portland, Oregon. Heather, Francine from Thunder Bay, Lori. Okay, couple of more, let's get going. We got a question. Deb, Detroit, Michigan. I'm not far from you right now. Diane in LaSalle, near Windsor. Catherine. Tess, good morning, Tess. And Catherine, good morning. Elaine, Marilyn from Edmonton. Margaret, you guys are great. Thanks for coming on. Okay, let's get going. Hazel, how are you? From Newfoundland. Shirley, from originally from Timmins in Kapuskasing. Regina, Babika, and Lise, good morning. I know I missed so many people. Zian, bonjour. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Ornella is asking, is stevia an endocrine disruptor? No, it's not. An endocrine disruptor, usually you're going to get them in soy. A soy product can be an endocrine disruptor because it really elevates estrogen. I'm not a big fan of soy. Stevia, look, some people don't like stevia. It's because they don't like the taste. It's a plant product. It is, I don't know how many times sweeter than sugar in terms of taste. But out of all the sweeteners, it's probably one of the best because it won't elevate your blood sugar, and it's one of the reasons we chose it for our bone broth and the powdered bone broth. It's certainly not an endocrine disruptor. Like I said, soy, another endocrine, like any plastics and our environment is all about endocrine disruptors in what we call xenoestrogens. So, be careful of those. Yeah, You're not going to get away from it completely because otherwise you'd have to leave the planet. Okay, there's no getting away from it completely. But anyway, keep your estrogen down because that's a big problem in cancer. Is estrogen is a growth hormone, and ladies, you want estrogen. Estrogen makes you a woman. But it better be balanced between estrogen and progesterone. The key is balance in a woman, okay? And men, we want testosterone to be high, not estrogen. Okay. Sarah, what are Dr. Martin's thoughts on sushi rice? How does it affect the body? And if rice products are bad to consume? Well, I'm not going to say they're bad to consume. You better just be very careful. I lump in, look, we live in a different world today, and our problem in North America and spreading bad nutrition around the world is we're carboholics, okay? So Sarah, my problem is if you are in the 93% that have some form of metabolic syndrome. I talk about this all the time, where you have trouble, and the overarching principle of metabolic syndrome, it's caused by insulin resistance. What is insulin resistance? Insulin resistance is when people insist, from children to senior citizens, when they insist on living on carbohydrates and carbs. So I lump in rice with the rest of the carbohydrates. If you have metabolic syndrome, you need to lower your carbohydrates. Rice turns to sugar rapidly. Okay? Sushi rice, and Rice Krispies. No, look, I'm not against it. If you are well metabolically, then enjoy some rice. You know, people always say, well, the Chinese and the Japanese, they live on rice. They eat a lot more meat and fish than we do. Did you know that? Yeah, that's their key. Their key is they're eating an enormous amount of protein compared to what we do. See, protein in a way has been vilified. And people think, well, protein, nah, we're eating way too many carbohydrates. Sugar is added to everything. And bread, pasta, rice, cereal, sugar, sweets, pastries, juice, milk, grocery store milk. It's all carbs. So again, you just have to understand where I'm coming from. Okay? Just understand where I'm coming from. Look, if you are well metabolically, then have a little bit of rice. Just don't live on it. Don't live on rice. You can't have it. If you're a diabetic, eliminate. The key is not moderation. The key is elimination. You know, I've been preaching that for so many years. I get tired of listening to myself. But it's not moderation. When you're in trouble, it's not moderation in food. It's elimination. Eliminate sugar. Just watch how much better you get. Eliminate crappy carbs and watch how much better your body responds. We don't eat enough protein and fat, good fat, in our diet. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay? Thanks for the question, Sarah. Okay? Coleman. Is vanilla extract made from plastic? Well, not that I know of. Well, pure vanilla extract comes from the plant, and then they make it with alcohol. And pure extract, vanilla extract, I'm not saying, you know, it's a health food, but I'm not negative on it. Okay, it's usually used in baking products, so I'm not that big on baking. Again, going back to the reasons that we talked about. But as far as made from plastics, not that I know of. Now, you guys on the private Facebook group, you might know more about this than I do. Okay? But no, all I know about vanilla extract, the pure one, is that I know they filter the plant through alcohol or ethanol. Okay? Now, Glenda, is it okay to add salt when using mineral stones in a water system? Yeah, I love salt. And again, I'm going to, Glenda, pontificate for a minute here, okay? Don't blame salt for what sugar did. I have been telling folks who will listen for a long time, it's not salt that elevates your blood pressure. It really isn't. It's sugar. Sugar elevates your blood pressure because sugar has a detrimental effect. And we're going to get to this in a minute too, because we're going to talk about kidneys this morning. Sugar is destructive to your kidneys, not salt. Now, salt without water, not good. Okay? So, if you have blood that is thick as molasses because you're not drinking enough water, then when you're adding salt without water, you're in trouble. Now, in terms of putting it in your system, okay, a water system, I can't see an issue with it. You need salt. Salt's good for you. Now, I don't like table salt. I like Himalayan salt. I like sea salt. I like salt. I'm a salty. You cry salt. Your blood is full of salt. And your kidneys actually work better when you have trace mineral salts. So again, I double down on this. Kidneys get in trouble. Kidneys get in trouble with sugar. Ask a diabetic. Okay? Ask a diabetic. And we see so much dialysis today. It's not salt that puts people on dialysis. It's sugar that puts people on dialysis, almost without exception. So again, I love salt. I love water. Vitamin W. And salt is so good, but it's second to steak. That's why it didn't get a vitamin on the Martin Clinic vitamin list, okay? It didn't get a vitamin status, salt, but it could. But steak is so much better that steak has to get the vitamin status on the Martin Clinic. Salt becomes a close second. I love salt. Add salt to your water. How's that? Okay? And you're asking how much salt, okay? Well, look, again, depending on how much water you're drinking, you don't want to be dehydrated and then adding salt. And then you look at salt that's, all in the packaged goods and all that. I mean, lay off that stuff because it's full of carbs and it's the bad salt in a way. Okay, so, but yeah, 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt a day added to water, like add a pinch. It's good. That's how you get good water, by the way, is adding salt to it. You want good water? That's what mineral water is. It's trace minerals, trace salts. Okay? Julie's asking a good question. What kind of fish is the oil sourced from? I'm assuming, Julie, you're asking about our DHA in the capsule and how do we get it? Well, I can't tell you our secrets. Julie? Okay, no, look. What? Good people ask me, Julie, you're not the first person that's asked me this. How do you get your DHA to be so high? Well, it's not cheap, first of all, okay? Now, you have to understand something about our DHA, okay, our omega-3. First of all, omega-3 is what we are missing in our diets today, okay? We don't get it. It's the ratio between omega-6 and omega-3. And omega-3 you can get from the plants, but the highest source, and the one your body adores, is DHA omega-3. EPA, DHA come from animal source. So when you eat a steak or fish, you get DHA and EPA. But what we do to get our DHA at such a high quality is the processing, it is the filtering and the refiltering of fish oil to leave the DHA as high as it is. It is, the best way to describe it is it's a pharmaceutical grade. Our manufacturer is a pharmaceutical grade manufacturer. So if the process is very, like, look, you can make omega-3 pretty cheaply. And you go to the store, and all I ask people to do, okay, here's what I ask people to do. Read your labels. You know how I am about that. I'm big on when you go to the grocery store, read your labels, okay? And when you go to, when you look at a supplement, read your labels. This is a pure DHA, very high. And the reason I love it is because, yes, there are no contaminants in it. That's the pharmaceutical grade DHA, okay? Look, let me give you another example of it. There's a product out there that's called Vasipa. You can Google it if you want to. It's actually an omega-3 with a very high EPA, okay? And there's a company out of Ireland that got a patent on the processing, and it's about $300 or $400 a month. And what it does is that they actually got it because it will lower your triglycerides. Okay, they got a patent on it and they got it approved by the FDA. Okay, and I don't dislike it. It's just a natural product with a big price tag. I mean, they put a lot of money into getting the formula of the high EPA. The only thing I disagree with them about, not the processing, how they did it, because it's very expensive, and to get a patent on it, and how they did it. But I've been talking about DHA being better for you than EPA. I love EPA, I do. But DHA is better because your brain's made up of DHA. And the research on DHA, on what it does for heart disease, what it does for your brain to regenerate, what it does for cancer. Read the studies. I'm writing a new book right now. I'm putting that in there. The studies on DHA specifically, how tumors are destroyed by DHA. They're not destroyed specifically by the, just any kind of omega-3. All omega-3 is good, okay, guys? All of it. But DHA is the superstar of omega-3. It's the superstar of omega-3. And the more and more and more research they do, the more, I'm telling you, my friend, it is one of my fabulous 5 supplements that I recommend for people. I take DHA. I always tell people, I have fish every day in a capsule. I have high DHA in my steak, because I love steak, you guys know that. And high DHA I take in a capsule. I want my brain. I want my eyeballs. You need your brain, you need your eyes. DHA, what it does for lowering inflammation, but it goes after tumors. Okay? Now, I've taught you this in the past, but I'll just give you a little overview again. What do cancer cells want? What do cancer cells want? You guys know the answer to this. They love sugar, right? Cancer cells need fuel. What do? They're looking for sugar. They have to grow with sugar, okay? Step number one. But when cancer becomes a tumor, it switches and actually looks for fat. That's why I'm so big on getting rid of seed oils, the bad fat. Cancer loves that stuff. But if you take DHA, the tumor looking for fat, remember, the cell looking for sugar, the tumor looking for fat, and it loves the bad fat especially. But if you feed it DHA, you know what it does? It destroys the tumor. Now guys, let me get excited for a second. If the world, if people would understand that, well, first of all, when you got cancer, get rid of sugar. For sure. You take a PET scan, and you can't even take a PET scan without taking a cup of glucose. Because if you got cancer, you're going to light up like a Christmas tree. Wherever that cancer is, that's a PET scan. Sugar. But when tumors are growing, they switch fuels. They're looking for fat. And you can fool the tumor if you give it DHA, because it'll destroy tumors. Now, you can Google that if you want. I'm not making that up, my friend. That is a fact. Again, and by the way, it's not just omega-3, it's the DHA long chain fatty acid that destroys the tumor. Why am I so big on the DHA? That's why. For all of the reasons above. So, guys, how long have I been telling you about DHA? For a long time. Why do you think I love steak and fish? DHA. EPA, yep. ALA, yep. But there's nothing like DHA. It's the king of the castle as far as omega-3s go, okay? Thank you for the question, Julie, okay? Kathy, and Julie said, why no other company can do it? Well, it's very expensive. And you have to have a pharmaceutical grade. It's just costly. And you know, for some things you really get what you pay for in terms of quality. And look, guys, you have to understand something. I was in practice for 46 years. See, that makes me old when I think about it. I had to get results. I was giving patients, when I recommended supplements, I had to get results. I had to be able to lower the CRP, the inflammation. I had to get results in A1Cs. I had to get results in triglycerides. I had to get results in elevating your HDL. I had to get results. That's me. Okay. Kathy, can you talk about medullary sponge kidney? Well, that is a genetic defect. Usually, it can lead to kidney stones and things like that. Listen, let's get back to kidneys for a minute. What causes kidney stone? Now, you can have genetics like that. That's a rare thing. But at the end of the day, let me talk to you about kidney health. The best thing for your kidneys is water. Remember, what I always tell you, kidneys are like Niagara Falls. Go to Niagara Falls in the morning, go to the Niagara Falls at night, it don't matter. It's water 24/7. I'm a big believer in vitamin W. You need to walk because your kidneys is a filtering system. You got filters and you need to run water through those filters, not anything else. Water. Now, okay? Water. Only water is water. And the best water is spring water with some salts in it, trace minerals, okay? Now, the worst thing for your kidneys is when you're dehydrated, kidney stones, okay? So not enough water. Oxalates, 75% of kidney stones are oxalates. I'm sorry, my friend, you get oxalates from the plant kingdom, okay? The plant kingdom. So I'm not telling you not to eat plants, of course not. All I'm telling you is don't live on plants because they have oxalates. Not all of them, but most of them, oxalates. And those are 75%. You don't get kidney stones, by the way, from eating meat. And the worst thing you can do is drink sugar. Sugar, very hard on your kidneys. A lack of water is very hard on your kidneys. Oxalates can be very hard on your kidneys. And the reason that drinking sugar, by the way, you know what that causes? Uric acid. Because 25% of kidney stones are uric acid. And by the way, just in case you're going, yeah, but doc, meat gives you gout, uric acid. No, it don't. Sugar gives you gout. Okay? Sugar gives you gout. Fructose, high fructose corn syrup. That's why we see so much of it today. Okay? So, kidney stones and kidney health, remember those things. Sarah, can supplement with vitamin D cause magnesium deficiency? No. No. Now, a lot of people don't get enough magnesium, and so you can take that on your own. Take it as a supplement. I love magnesium. Okay, I'm big on magnesium. I really am. It's the word rely. But just taking vitamin D, I love our vitamin D because we put K2 in it. That's the key. It's not the magnesium, it's the K2. But vitamin D don't cause you a magnesium deficiency. I'd be in real trouble because I get a lot of vitamin D from the sun and from supplements. No, doesn't give you a magnesium deficiency. But I like vitamin D with K2. That's why I love cheese. That's why I love butter. Okay? Now, Charlene, I eat 3 teaspoons or tablespoons. Tablespoons of butter a day. Tablespoons? Is that sufficient vitamin K2? Yep. Yep, that's good. I love cheese, so I get vitamin K2. And I take, I'm going to start about the middle of September, for me, taking a supplement of vitamin D, okay, with K2. But I love cheese and butter for your K2. Yeah, I'd say, Charlene, you're very sufficient, okay? Now make sure you get vitamin D too. Lillian, potassium iodine. Why does Dr. Martin have 100 milligrams in the capsule? Again, secrets I can't tell you. No, I can tell you because I get results. Look, our thyroid formula is perfectly balanced, okay? Why do they use potassium iodine? Well, iodine, look, your thyroid don't work properly without iodine, okay? It just doesn't. Your thyroid needs iodine and selenium. A lot of people don't realize that, okay? Because people are, most people, if anybody that has any kind of interest in health, understands iodine. Oh yeah, thyroid, okay? And you actually can protect your thyroid, and that's what they do in terms of, what is it now, for radiation, right? Yeah, nuclear radiation emergency to protect your thyroid. They give people iodine. I remember in Japan, remember when that nuclear plant, malfunctioned after, was it a tsunami or whatever it was? I can't remember exactly. And they gave everybody iodine just to protect your thyroid. Well, yeah, I would love to know what you think, Lillian. Well, I think you need iodine. It protects your thyroid. Plus, your thyroid feeds off iodine, and though not on its own, selenium. Look at our formula for thyroid formula. I don't think there's a better one, in my opinion. Again, I needed to get results. And people love our thyroid formula. Go look at the reviews on martinclinic.com, okay? But thanks for the question, Lillian, because I don't want you taking anything that's not good for you. Absolutely. Howard, how do you feel about cannabis? Well, I haven't been stoned in a long time. No, I mean, medicinally, a lot of people like that, medicinally, for pain or sleep or whatever. Look, for me, I got no real problem with it medicinally. What bothers me about cannabis? It's a gateway drug for a lot of people. Look, medicinally, it's got a lot of good research, and I got no problem with it. It just doesn't happen to be my cup of tea. If you get a practitioner that's very good at it and in limited doses and whatever, and they do it medicinally, people with chronic diseases or cancer or whatever, you know what? If it works for you, man, go for it. You know what I get a kick out of? I was saying to my wife, I said, maybe we should get stoned. I mean, you drive in anywhere in Canada today, every second store, like all the stores were closing during the virus, and the only stores that were opening up were cannabis stores. I said, what am I missing here? Look, I'm old-fashioned, so I don't like medication too much, drugs, and I'm worried about kids. I got grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I'm worried about them if it's a gateway drug as far as cannabis. But medicinally, it's not my area of expertise, but medicinally, I got no issue with it, okay? Good question. Thank you, Howard. Jelly legs. What does Dr. Martin think about them? Pregnancies, and I guess during chronic fatigue. Yeah, I used to work on that quite a bit. People that would experience, just seem like a real weakness in their legs. Generally, if you've got a condition that can cause that, like, during pregnancy or whatever. Look, I'm a very, very big guy on usually what I found with people, chronic fatigue or whatever, and they said, I got like really weak legs or jelly legs, they just were not eating enough protein. If you analyze their diet most of the time, because they didn't feel good, especially with chronic fatigue and even during pregnancy, like they often were borderline anemic. That can be a real problem. People don't realize, because unless you take a blood test, but even then, like borderline anemia is something that I used to see in the office. And the reason I could see it is because I was taking their blood plus looking at their red blood cells. And I could say, well, a lot of time they had large red blood cells, and you think, well, the bigger the better. No, not the bigger the better. they weren't carrying as much oxygen. That is, and I used to tell them, you need, my friend, vitamin S. You need steak. And if you analyze these people's diets, most of the time, okay, most of the time, they weren't getting enough steak and B12. B12. That is an important vitamin. It's so important, okay? And they usually were very deficient. You know, oh, my B12 is normal. It's 200 and something. I said, that's enough for a mouse, not for a human being. Okay? You need to have high levels of B12, not just normal. You need to optimize levels of B12. That's a very important when it comes to your muscles. And, you know, I talked to you the other day, I think, about CoQ10 muscles. Your little mitochondria in your muscles. And a lot of people, they don't get, and CoQ10, you rise your CoQ10 levels, you know how? Steak, red meat. Okay. My son is 12 and still wets the bed. Get him to a chiropractor. I mean that. A lot of times, that can be fixed. Bedwetting can be fixed. Get them to a chiropractor. There's good research on that. Lucille. Oh, I could sing, Lucille, when I see your name. What are my thoughts on eggshells for collagen? Yeah, I like it. I like bone broth the best. I love collagen, by the way. Okay? And bone broth is the best. Eggshells, yeah, I got no problem. There's collagen there. I like it. No problem, Lucille. John, blood restriction exercise. Yeah, I've read about it, John. I've never tried it. You know, you put a cuff on your arm, you get bigger muscles, and I don't know. I can't say that I talked to a lot of people that have done it. I mean, I knew about it, but I don't know. I've been exercising for, how old am I now? 70. I started exercising when I was about 17, and hey, you want to try it? I got no problem with it. But I don't know. Is it much better? I don't know. But I know what works for the vast majority of people. Get strong, my friend. Vitamin E, exercise. Move, get strong. 15 to 20 minutes a day. 15 a day. 3 times a week at least. Walk, yeah, great. Better, get strong. I'm telling you, if someone calls you musclehead, go for it, okay? So thanks for the question, John. Brenda, if EMC, eggs, meat, and cheese, is the best, yep. Tell me why we lose electrolytes. Well, you really don't, okay? You don't, okay? Now, you're talking about keto and what they call the keto flu, and where people, look, what happens, Brenda, is this, okay? My name is Tony, and I'm a carboholic, okay? Let's just say my name is Brenda, or my name is Sue, or my name is whatever, and I'm a carboholic. And then you change fuels. You go to EMC, eggs, meat, and cheese, which I highly recommend. It is good for everyone. There's no exceptions to it. Now, people yesterday, or the day before or whatever, I can't remember, when I talked about cheese, okay? When I talk about cheese, they go, well, cheese, I don't do well with cheese, Doc. Well, then eat eggs and meat. Okay? You don't have to eat cheese. I feel sorry for you if you don't do well with cheese. Or I feel sorry for you if you don't even like cheese. Now I really feel sorry for you. But eggs, meat, and cheese have all your electrolytes. All your trace minerals are found in eggs, meat, and cheese. They're perfect foods. I mean it. Now, you want to add plants and add some salt, and I like that. I like adding salt to water, right? But you're not, look, sugar is where you lose electrolytes. Sugar is very hard on kidneys, and you lose. Believe me, it's not sugar. It's not eggs, meat, and cheese, it's sugar. Now, when your body makes an adjustment and you're switching fuels, sometimes I have people adding magnesium, potassium, because they can get leg cramps or they get cramps. And it's because you're switching fuels. Your body is making an adjustment. And for some, that's a huge adjustment. But at the end of the day, it's the best thing for your body. Your body thrives. Why? You're eliminating sugars. You do not need sugars at all to live. You don't. Now, if you want to have some fruit, go for it, but not during the reset. And there's a reason. I'm emptying your liver. I'm getting rid of insulin resistance, which is the key to any chronic disease that you can think of. Okay? So it's an adjustment. That's what's going on. Okay? It's an adjustment. Thanks for the question, Brenda. Okay? We appreciate it very much. Okay, guys. Have I told you that I love you lately? Have I? I haven't? Well, I'm telling you now. Guys, you guys are great. Thank you very much. We've had a great week. Love you, and have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.